Cunningham from their practice squad. The status of wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown is still up in the air. He's considered questionable because of an ankle injury. The Eagles will not have defensive tackle Jalen Carter Monday against the Chargers. He underwent a procedure on both of his shoulders and is considered week to week, according to ESPN. The ultimate goal for Philadelphia is to have Carter available for the postseason. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson didn't practice today. He was limited in yesterday's workout. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels was a full participant. He's on track to start against the Vikings. Vikings will start J.J. McCarthy after he cleared concussion protocol today. Former Steelers corner Darius Slay's unsure if he wants to play anymore in the NFL. He hasn't reported to the Bills after he was claimed off waivers by the team yesterday. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer says he's very happy at Alabama and will not be taking any other coaching job. I'm Dan Byer.
Hey, welcome to the show. Hashtag the show. Hashtag Covino rules.
Hey.
Hashtag.
Sorry, what?
There's Rich. Hey, what's up? Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Welcome to our company holiday Christmas party Thursday.
Oh, I heard Rob Parker's getting naked already.
Yeah. Welcome to our Week 14 NFL Thursday Spectacular.
I like your hashtag. Hashtag there's Rich.
And, oh, yeah, Rich, too. Let's welcome super producer Danny G to the show. He's the best in the game. He's got a sweet polo on for the company party right after the show.
I would take that off for the company party. Inappropriate. Danny G's wearing his mistletoe belt.
I know. Iowa Sam looking festive spot. Dan Byer. We're all here. We're all rocking out. Let's get into Week 14. Let's go. Covino and Rich. So we'll talk about the game tonight. I see people saying if Dak puts up big numbers and has a big game, he's an MVP contention. I don't know about that, but it's going to be exciting, man. Plus, we got some basketball, some NBA, Super Bowl odds. I know you want to talk that, Rich.
Well, there's a team that's being so disrespected, and I take personal offense to it. So we're going to get to a bunch of NFL. We're going to get to NBA. Yes.
Old school when 50 hits.
Oh, yes.
We always throw it back on a Thursday. Let's just say this. It's a hip-hop legend's birthday. And this hip-hop legend started out as a sidekick to somebody. So we're going to start talking about the greatest sidekicks, like sidekicks that turn superstar. Start thinking about them. Oh. And by the way, we're streaming live. You could watch what you hear at Covino and Rich FSR. I say you start watching now, start following now, because Danny G's going to start picking names throughout the show and start giving out prizes, all right? So we're going to call some names. So join us, Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube, and let the wild rumpus start.
The hot topic we're going to get to for sure today is the ever-changing work-life balance when it comes to babies being born and the skip work for family stuff. We're going to get to that in a second, but I just saw something on the walk-in here. Mm-hmm. I do a strut down the hallway. Like I'm Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
He does his Vince McMahon strut.
I do my Conor McGregor. Hey, going in the studio.
You know, can we just say for years, Rich and I have been working together for 20 years. 20-plus years, not to date ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, we're still the youngest in the game.
I met you right out of college, man.
Yeah. We were like 12 when we started the show.
Yeah.
We had something called the power strut. And every day we did this just to make sure the bosses saw us. Like, hey, let's just do a power strut. We called it the PS. Power strut just to show face.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, we're bringing the vibe. We're here. We do a little Shooter McGavin at the boss.
Hey.
And honestly, I think little things like that do help. Do a power strut around the office.
I walk, I'm like,
what are you trying to blend in? Why are you showing up if you're not going to make an impact, or at least pretend that you have some sort of presence, right? Do a power strut.
I'm strutting.
Why are there fish? Why are there fish in Rich's heels?
I'm doing a little Brutus the Barber Beefcake
Even
strut.
if you're just walking to the bathroom, walk by the boss's office like you got some authority, like you got some presence, some confidence about you.
I walk by, I'm like, yo, Dan Byer, what's up?
Power
Big Mike.
strut.
Hey,
Power
Lee.
strut.
All right, well, anyway, I'm doing the strut.
Yeah.
And I see a stat on TV. And before we get to babies being born and NBA and Super Bowl and all this crap, tonight's game, I've talked about how this week there's 6 games that are of playoff magnitude. And I'm standing by that statement. There's 6 games that are of playoff caliber. I really do feel that. And it starts tonight with the Lions hosting the Cowboys. We're coming off a week where both of those teams had record-breaking Thanksgiving numbers. The most watched regular season game ever was that Cowboys-Chiefs game.
When Dan Byer dropped that fun fact, I couldn't believe it, man. Was it 57 million?
Almost 60
Something like
million
that.
people. That's like the finale of Friends and Seinfeld.
No, seriously.
That's like
those type of numbers in today's world with all the
MASH.
distractions we have, oversaturation of social media and things to watch and streaming services, the fact that many people were tuned in, that says a lot, man. So these games are huge. And tonight's game, man.
By the way, someone said this to me yesterday, and I'm such an idiot because you didn't point it out either. You realize that on Thanksgiving Day, Cowboys-Chiefs was really like Cowboys versus Indians?
Yes.
It dawned on me like yesterday.
No, I didn't think about it. Didn't think about it.
Anyway, so football's popping. Tonight, Cowboys at the Lions. Get this. The Cowboys' chances of making the postseason, they're 6-5-1. They're one of the hottest teams in the league now because they feel like they got some type of momentum. And
they're like MC Hammer in the 90s, bro. Gaining momentum.
Oh, Danny G started dancing when you sang that.
Look at Danny G doing the gaining momentum.
The Cowboys are gaining momentum. There's a vibe that the Cowboys aren't some mediocre team anymore. Like, there's a vibe that if the season started over, like, it finally is happening now.
You know what the buzz is? I was listening to Dan Patrick this morning.
Hi, DP.
What up, DP? We'll be filling in for DP around the holidays for sure. Shout out to the Dan Patrick listeners. A lot of talk about Jerry Jones was right, maybe, and deserves an apology. There was a suggestion from a caller that Dan should make a shirt that says Jerry Jones is right or was right, something along those lines. Because when that Micah Parsons thing happened, even you and I were like, stick a fork in him.
Yep.
Stick a fork in them. They're over. And it turns out that some of those moves worked out.
Well, based on, I told you, the magnitude of some of these games, and we still got 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL, Danny G, the odds of the Cowboys making the postseason with a win tonight is 35%, essentially.
Whew.
If they lose tonight, 8%. So we're talking about, two teams that are going to be fighting for that final 7th seed,
so
or
whoever
maybe
loses is out in your mind.
Whoever loses,
This is a safe bet.
out, because if the Cowboys lose, then they're too far behind the wild card and the Eagles, that's a reasonable argument that they could catch the Eagles, who are playing a little cold right now. But if they lose tonight, you're 6-6-1. Call it a day. But if you're 7-5-1, it's a different story.
There's a crazy stat here. Back to what Covino was saying about some of the moves Jerry has made. The Cowboys' rushing yards per game allowed this season before the Quinnen Williams trade, 143 yards, 28th in the worst in the league. Post Quinnen Williams trade, 45 yards a game, first in the NFL.
Damn. Like Ian Visalia said, here we go, Cowboys. Wes hit us up saying Jerry Jones hasn't been right since the 90s, so this is shocking.
Well, I clearly, distinctly, even on our show, saying, dude, what a way to start the season. You get rid of your star player. This season's over before it began. And to have this sort of success, that is pretty remarkable. So you got to give credit where it's due. I'm not saying it's all Jerry Jones, but team stepped up. Dak's playing big.
But
the Cowboys are pretty decent because, well, you always knew that the offense was pretty good. The defense is stepping up, and props to them.
There's a big but, and you love big butts.
I love big butts.
And you cannot lie.
What's the big but?
The big but is you lose tonight, that momentum's over because you're 6-6-1. But you go into Detroit, you win, you're 7-5-1. But not only that, it's just another win and more momentum. You went into Detroit, and you essentially told the Lions, your little window is closed. When you talk about those little windows of a team making a championship, when you look around the NFL, you could argue that they could always not rebuild, they could revamp around the likes of a healthy Lamar or Josh Allen. But you could maybe argue that based on what you're seeing now, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs ruined the best windows for the Bills and Ravens. Because you would think if the Chiefs are struggling now, Bills and Ravens, no, because they're going through their struggles too. So you got little windows, and we talk about that all the time in the NFL. And the Lions are number one on the list of suspects as far as did their window close. And if they lose tonight, bro, you ain't telling me a 7-6 team in the Lions is going to somehow find a way to make the postseason.
So huge implications, Week 14, Thursday Night Football. What a way to start the week. So we're going to be heading to the company holiday party, and we're going to have our eyes glued on what's going on in the game. So it's going to be fun. Even though we're going to be rolling up as it ends, we got reason to stay and hang for a little while, right?
Yeah, when we get there, there's going to be chicken bones on the table.
Rob Parker ate all the food.
Yeah, and raffle tickets on the floor.
Yeah, we're going to miss all the fun, but the game will be on. So, hey, you know what, Rich? You got me extra pumped, even though we've been hyping on it.
Now, Cowboys win, right? Their percentage of playoff hopes goes up. Iowa Samuel, you are high or low on the Lions? I feel like yesterday you picked the Lions, right? You on our little...
For this game, I picked the Lions, yeah.
Even if the Lions win, remember we talked about 6 losses might be the limit because 11-6 teams, that seems like a playoff lock. 10-7 is very questionable in a competitive NFC, right? The Niners, the Seahawks, the Rams, we could argue that all 3 of those teams likely to make the postseason. Right? 49ers, they win against the Titans in 2 weeks. They're 10-4, which means the Niners would have to win one more game and they're 11-6 at worst. So you can't lose more than 6. So if the Lions lose tonight, they're 7-6, which would mean they'd have to win the remainder of their games. And the remainder of their games, the Rams, the Steelers, the Bears, and a division matchup against the Vikings, which is no shoo-in because the Vikings beat them a couple weeks ago.
Dude.
So the Vikings are a mess, though.
I know, but I'm
They're
saying
bad.
they did beat the Lions a couple weeks ago. Point is, if anything, Cowboys, I don't think the pressure's on because we sort of gave up on them, and now we're like, oh, wow, Cowboys. The Lions and Dan Campbell, they got to be feeling the pressure tonight. At home in Detroit, coming off a loss when Eminem and Jack White couldn't even set the vibe for
I
you.
would say that's where it really starts going downhill. Like you can't win that game. You had to win that game.
And arguably, if
they
you look
should
at
have won that game,
no,
dude.
because if you look at the Lions, buddy boy,
They won halftime show. That's what they won.
They-
But
It was
still,
so good.
It was so good.
They lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving Day. We know that. The week before, we forget that they should have lost to Jameis Winston and the Giants sort of gave that to them, right? That was the game where you're like,
yeah,
the
it's
Giants
just,
had it.
honestly, dude, it's just not the Lions season.
And the week before
I'm not
that-
surprised if the Cowboys win convincingly
And
tonight.
the week before that, they didn't even put up a double-digit offensive performance.
What's
they
the
lost
bigger surprise to
16-9
you?
to the Eagles. So-
Richie Dickey Davis.
Yeah, buddy boy.
What's a bigger surprise? The Lions win convincingly or the Cowboys win convincingly?
What's more?
Based on the way they've played, I'd be surprised if the Lions won tonight.
If you told me a month ago, I would have been like, dude,
That little window, that little
Lions.
hobbit. I always picture like a little hobbit window, like a little cottage hobbit window. That little window's closing.
But-
It's already closing for the
But
Lions.
remember how bipolar this season has been.
Yeah.
Most
I know.
of the weeks.
Danny G, I swear, I'm on the edge of my seat, biting my tongue, trying not to say the most cliche thing we've said all season. It's really anyone's season, more than ever before. I really fight from trying to say that every show because it's over and over again. We're repeating that, but that feeling is in the air. It's anyone's season, dude. It's anyone's. And we'll see tonight who's got it. Because whoever loses, I agree with you, Rich, is out.
If you think the Lions have collapsed, then make some easy cash tonight.
I'm not a gambling fool.
No, I'm saying I'm saying the collective you then because
Yeah.
they are 3.5-point favorites at home. So even if they win by a field goal, the Cowboys would still cover. So if you think the Cowboys got this, money line or take the 3.5 points, take that hook of a 0.5 point. This might be one of those games we look back and say, why didn't I bet on this?
No, pivotal game for sure moving forward. So just something to look forward to tonight, guys. We'll be boozing and schmoozing at the company party. Pumped to watch this game. And, man, we needed a sweet game on a random Thursday.
K. Rain said, I mean, the goal is for the Cowboys to make the playoffs just to watch them lose and laugh. That's what people love to do.
But in reality, if they keep moving upward. That's the thing. I keep looking at this season and these teams like stocks. The Lions are going down. They've been going down. Cowboys have gone up and up, like the Bears. Certain teams up and up and up. Cowboys are looking good, man. So why can't they go even further this year? It's not like some other team is that dominant where it would be unbelievable for the Cowboys to keep moving forward.
Anthony in Vegas hit us up and said, guys, the Cowboy crying memes are priceless. So perhaps a couple wins and the letdown. Like, I think some people are saying
it's a big setup for a big
like
letdown.
It sounds mean, but
any other season I would say, yeah, exactly. But this season, picture that. Anything's possible, man. So your thoughts, your calls, 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox, or at Covino and Rich, at Fox Sports Radio. But like I said, the chat is popping on the YouTube page, Covino and Rich FSR. So I'm hyped about it. I'm pumped. Free food, booze, and NFL Week 14 begins.
I'll be honest.
A really big game.
I reluctantly played softball last night. Because out here in LA, it never stops because the weather's mild enough.
Mm-hmm.
But during this time of the year, even I, who love to be active and get out there, I reluctantly went to play. But I got to see all my buds that I play softball with, and I gave them the rando games I gave you guys yesterday. And those 6 games, everyone was all over the place. I'm like, all right, guys, Ravens, Steelers.
It says a lot,
split
though.
down the middle. I said, yo, Chiefs, Texans, everyone. Yo, Chiefs, no, dude, Texans. Like, it was split down the middle like a pair of cheeks. There is no one feeling really strongly about any of these games. If I told you, Danny G, the one that I feel like people were arguing about the most last night when I was talking to some buds, I was like, all right, guys, Packers hosting the Bears. Some of my buddies were like, dude, Bears are for real. They're going to whoop their ass. And the other people are like, you think Caleb Williams is going to go into Lambeau and win? Like, it's a playoff.
It's 50-50, and we haven't had this many 50-50 type games late in a season in a long time.
I mean, the Bears are a touchdown underdog, though. That's telling.
Right? I mean, Dan Byer, I know he's more of a Covino guy. But DB, you could agree with me that there is a very playoff atmosphere this week because of the matchups, right?
Yeah, by the way, not so much after yesterday's baseball debacle, but we'll get to that later. No,
man, it hurts.
it
stings.
It's a great week, and the Bears are a team that it isn't Caleb Williams, and I think that's the thought. Like this running game now with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, like that is something that the Bears can really hang their hat on. You go to Lambeau and you win that game. I mean, that's a statement not to the rest of the NFC North, but to the entire NFL that this team is for real. And I feel that there's about 3 or 4 games. It's funny, Rich, when you did your countdown of games, we didn't even mention Bengals-Bills.
Which has implications because there's a lot of people. There's a fun social media sentiment.
That wasn't part of it?
No.
There's a fun social media sentiment that the Ravens and Steelers are struggling to the point where if you look at the weak-ass schedule that the Bengals have, that if they somehow beat the Bills, there are people that think they could run the table and win that division at 9-8.
Yes, it's there for them.
Because the schedule is so favorable towards the Bengals. So this Bills-Bengals game has magnitude as well.
That's why the Bengals win on Thanksgiving was so important. It's why the Steelers faltering as of late. Because honestly, with the Steelers and Ravens playing twice here in this late part of the season, it actually made it really more difficult for the Bengals. But to get Burrow back and win that game, and imagine if they would have beaten the Patriots the week before where Joe Flacco threw a pick 6. That was the game we thought Joe Burrow was maybe going to come back for.
There's got to be a part of Joe Burrow that looks at his teammates and he's like, guys, really 4-8?
Yeah, right? Yeah, seriously.
You couldn't like leave. You couldn't welcome me back at 500 or something.
That was the goal. Yeah,
right?
they failed.
But we said that. Remember before? Who was the backup? Was it Browning? Right? Wait.
Yeah.
Yep, Jake Browning.
Yeah. We were like, all right, maybe he could keep them afloat until Burrow comes back, and that just went sideways quick. He got hurt, and then Flacco. So it's interesting to think that a 4-8 team could run the table because there's no faith in Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, and there's no faith that Lamar's really that healthy, and Derrick Henry seems pedestrian at best this year. I had him on my Guillotine Fantasy League, and every week I'm like 46 yards and like no touchdowns.
They're just not as explosive. Yeah, Lamar not being able to run is such a big deal, and that's the thing is they may still get in. Derrick Henry may still get some numbers, may get into the end zone, but they're not nearly as explosive as an offense as they had been in previous years.
Yeah, I keep wondering, is it an off year or is that just where they're at in their career at this point because of all the wear and tear, right?
Such a good question.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a comeback, and I keep waiting for them to explode as great analysis.
Oh,
DB.
thank you.
Yeah, like I always say,
Stop it.
best point of the day.
I appreciate that.
The
It's
great
very
Dan
kind,
Byer.
Steve.
Now,
well, hold on. I just want to read the in-show chat. Mark Morgan just said, "Yo, Dan Byer, go Hawks."
All right, Mark.
And then Mark went on to say, "How could you ever be a Covino guy?"
why not? Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
I want you guys to start thinking about this. There's two stories that have to deal with the work and family dynamic.
Yeah.
And I'll just say Luka's out, Draymond's in. And it all involves the birth of a child. So start thinking about the work-life balance. And we got old school when 50 hits. We start reminiscing. Sidekicks that became the main dude that became a big star. Start thinking about
I thought
that.
you meant your favorite phone from the 2000s.
No, that would be my Nokia.
Danny G, I guarantee. Do you have a sidekick, Danny G? I feel like you did.
No, I had a Motorola two-way.
Oh,
Because you're a hip hop. You were more of a hip hop guy. So many of my buddies that were. If you lean more hip hop, I feel like the flip up sidekick screen.
Well, we celebrate a hip hop legend, old school and 50 hits. He used to be a sidekick. We'll explain. Stick around. We got more Covino and Rich. We talk Luka and Draymond next, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Don't tell me what to do. All right, quick timeout. Holiday upgrade check. You still watching games on your old weak-ass TV? If you are, first of all, you should be ashamed of yourself. Second of all, there's a solution. TCL, buddies. The QM8K QD Mini LED is the real MVP. We're talking about ultimate brightness, ultimate black levels for the ultimate experience. Picture so clear, you could taste the turf.
And it's not just foosball, not just football. Movies look cinematic. Games feel smoother.
Ooh.
And yes, the in-laws, everybody notices.
Here's the play, guys. Holiday savings off select TCL TVs. Go premium with the QM8K, brilliant picture, huge sound, the ultimate choice. Or grab the versatile QM6K for an elevated game day experience.
Don't overthink it. Lock in the ultimate experiences with epic savings and undeniable bragging rights all season long. Get it while supplies last.
TCL, official TV partner of the NFL. Find TCL at all major retailers. TCL, bigger, brighter, better holidays.
Select models, limited time. See all major retailers for detailers. And a big thanks and happy holidays. TCL.com.
Let's talk Lakers and Luka. And what a guy. He said, yo, Jackson Hayes, if you get fined, I got your back. You're my guy.
So there's so many different things that make me say, when it comes to what happened last night, though. I love watching the clips.
Yeah.
I love watching the highlights. I love seeing the teammates have each other's back. And it makes me think of, having your buddies back, having your family's back. Like, so many situations. Like, Rich, if you're, let's say, at mixed company. I've been here before. I've been at mixed company, and I've seen my ex-wife fight and get into arguments with my friends. And not to get too personal, but I knew in these particular situations, my wife was wrong. My friends were right. Huh. Do I always have to have my wife's back, even though I know she's wrong? So this poses so many questions to me when I think of Jackson Hayes having Luka's back. I'm not saying anyone was wrong or right, but it makes me think of, do you always have to have your wife's back? Do you always have to have your friend's back?
In the worst
if you know he's wrong, if he's drunk, if he's stupid, like when to have people's back is the first thing I think of.
Do you want to sleep on the couch or,
Exactly, Ryan.
Honestly, Ryan's right. You have to, unapologetically and stupidly at times defend the person you love, right? Like, there have been times where I've had exes fly off the handle, and I've gone up to I've defended her and then gone up to people and be like, listen, I have to defend her. It's my girlfriend. But I understand. So, like, I'm trying, like, de-escalating a situation. Like, I get you, but I have to defend her. So let's
Or
calm
how
it
about,
down.
it's a big party night, right? You're out with your pals, and your friend is belligerent, drunk, maybe hitting on a woman that's taken. You know that your friend's in the wrong. He starts a little bit of a tussle, or he starts a problem at the bar. He's your friend. You know he's wrong. Do you always have to have his back even when you know he's wrong? All these things come to mind when I see what happens.
I have a
yesterday,
question. Do you
because,
look at it?
we're on the same team. I have your back no matter what. Is that the rules you live by? And I will tell you straight up, those are the rules that I live by. I know my wife was in the wrong, ex-wife now, but I knew she was in the wrong. But I'm not sleeping on the couch. I got to go back with her. I got to sleep with her. I'm going to have her back no matter what. It's loyalty. It's the team, and you got to stand by those rules. If your buddy's in the wrong, but someone's starting with him, or he's getting his ass kicked, or he's getting into an argument, but he's your buddy, that's the team you play for. You have his back. I think those are the rules you play by. Those are the rules of life. Those are the rules of sports. So that's the first thought. Then I have a second thought based on that.
A couple things. I think this is a great sign for Lakers fans like Danny G.
Yeah, it builds chemistry,
Because
camaraderie,
what you're seeing
trust.
is you're seeing the trust and camaraderie that Luka has already developed with this team. Where,
Dude, you know why Luka's able to score 40-point games like this? Because he knows his team has his back.
Is it backstabbing in nature or wrong if you go up to the other party afterwards and say, hey, listen, man, I'll give you an example. On my softball team, I know this is small potatoes. They're just Sunday softball. There's a guy on our team that's a bit of a hothead. Sort of a jerk at times, but he's my teammate. He collided with a guy, and it was not right. He was wrong. Both teams start mouthing off and tussling. I'm pulling my buddy back. I'm like, yo, bro, come on. Is it backstabby to go up to the other person?
It is. I'm not saying you could be peacemaker, but you don't have to make it seem like he's off the handle and he's just a blowhard or he's a jerk. Like, now you're making him look bad. You're supposed to have his back, not to make him look worse.
I guess you're right.
So, but being peacemaker, like, hey, man, I'm sorry about what happened there. That's fine. But you don't want to, like, overemphasize the fact that he was wrong. So it's a little backstabby on how you handle it. But being peacemaker, I think, is just part of the deal. Now, again, Chris Dunn shoves the ball into Luka, into his chest.
Yep.
And Hayes pushes back, has Luka's back. Dunn throws the punch. Luka then says, yo, man, I'm pumped he had my back. Jackson Hayes had my back. Put his fine on my tab.
Oh, look at that.
I love Iowa Sam. Does everyone play along at home to try to figure out Iowa Sam's musical tie-in?
Like, how does he tie this into our next conversation?
A child.
A child is born.
Yes.
Doesn't her voice just puts a chill up your spine?
Oh, puts a tingle in my holiday dingle.
I just said that to Spot.
It puts a tingle in my little jingle, holiday jingle jangle.
Makes me feel like I'm at a shopping mall.
Well,
Come on now.
Happy holidays. It's company holiday party Thursday. Cowboys Lions Thursday. Really pumped about that. Off the air, we're debating, like, is Dak Prescott likable? I find him to be really likable.
Yeah.
Ricky's like, I don't like him. But
Ricky's a Cowboy fan.
Not anymore.
not anymore.
What?
Yeah, big reveal coming soon.
What
He's
the
got a new
heck?
team.
Yeah, he goes, I think I have a new team. I'm like, a new team?
Yeah, Ricky does all the production here. He's the mastermind behind some of the stuff you hear Ricky and Vito.
Clearly
Great team on Fox
clearly
Sports Radio.
A flighty fan, though.
Yeah, I know.
But then again, 30 years of disappointment after the 90s.
Iowa Sam is our musical architect, our sound guy, board operator, associate radio tycoon, and Danny G's our super producer. Spots on the videos, Covino and Rich FSR, and Dan Byers just the greatest in the land. I got to kiss his ass.
I know.
I got to get points. Dan Byers mad at me.
Now,
You know the
great
best guy
job.
ever, Dan Byer. He's got your updates in a few minutes. Now, we said it before.
yeah, there's multiple
A child
is born.
A child is born. Congratulations, first and first mostly, as we say, to Luka and Draymond Green. They both welcome children. Not together, but together.
That would have been something, huh?
I know. But Luka's out, Draymond's in, and it gets people buzzing.
So
Like, what's the right thing to do? The work-life, family dynamic, the family balance.
But before we discuss, let me just remind everyone that we are doing it live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. No more waiting. Your goals start now. Get your ass in shape. Cyber Monday deals are going on. You can take your workouts around the world with Nordic Track and iFit.
Cyber Monday.
Save big on treadmills, bikes, and rowers, all at NordicTrack.com. Nordic Track, train anywhere, explore everywhere. Now,
I heard a little East Coast Nordic track.
Nordic Track.
I heard a little Nordic.
Nordic.
Yeah.
Now, I think in our lifetime, we've seen a lot of things change dramatically. And we're not like old dudes. I feel like
weed culture.
we talk about weed culture, how it was like a taboo to smoke weed. Now, like most states are like you can legally
Gambling.
Gambling and weed are usually the two things that pop in my mind.
Would you go to weed college?
You went to weed college.
No, but it's like Covino. Just the other day, I said when I have a holiday party or people over my house, I say, hey, in the garage, hey, help yourself. We have drinks for the kids. So juice boxes. We have seltzers, beer, wine, and on the top shelf in the back, there's some weed drinks. So be careful if you're not used to them. And
You have to be careful what you grab in that fridge.
And Covino goes,
There's like juice boxes and juice boxes, if you know
and
what I mean.
Covino's like, don't you feel weird saying that to the parents? I go, no, because it's legal.
Yeah, but I don't mix that hard with other parents from the school. You know what I mean? Like, they don't need to know me like that.
But it's no different than you saying like you want a whiskey.
It is to me. I mean, but whatever floats your boat, different mindsets.
So
it goes along with this conversation.
Yeah, I think we've changed mindsets over the years. Look at your boomer parents. And by the way, happy birthday to your dad. Happy belated, right?
Hey, thanks, Rich.
My dad's birthday was this week as well.
Yep.
Now, their mindset was likely, you put your head down and you work hard and work, priority. Don't be a lazy sack of crap. Work. And they would put work over most things. And then
You're a slagger.
I would say in the last, what would you say, especially since COVID, but in the last decade, we've seen people really emphasize work-life balance. And I think corporately, is that a word? Corporately?
Mm-hmm.
Even bosses and management have said, like, if you need a mental health day, if you need some personal time, work-life balance. Work-life balance.
I think because of liability reasons, too. A lot of employers are like, hey,
Hey.
if you need a day, take your day.
But this
and,
all
and
leads.
they've been very encouraging with taking your days.
Now, this all leads to being there for when your kid is born. And the extension of that is maternity and paternity leave. I could tell you, our parents and grandparents' generation, the idea of a dude not going to work because he became a dad just seemed insane.
Yeah, there's going to be generational differences here on how this is perceived.
Now, nowadays, if you get paternity leave, like, why would you not take it to be with your kid? And there's a priority of family. And
I still think there's a little hint of weenie if you're the dude and you're taking off for an extended amount of time. Because people really lean in. I feel like now you're taking advantage of it a little bit. I still
But are
feel
you
that
taking
way.
advantage of something that's in place?
If you love what you do, to me it just says you don't like what you do that much.
Or you're just being there for the early stages of your kid. I mean,
Which-
listen,
which
I
is-
worked.
hold on,
I'm
which
not
is
going
extremely important. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm never, ever saying don't be there for the birth of your child. That's not what I'm saying.
Do you remember when we first started, Covino's first big buzz on Fox Sports Radio was that he said Jeff McNeil on the Mets was a wuss for taking paternity leave. Even the Mets radio announcer Howie Rose tweeted that Covino was a moron.
Hold on. They switched my words around, too, though.
Yeah, they switched
The
his words
articles-
around.
No, if you look it up, Google it. Covino McNeil. There was some heated beef.
Yeah, people said the world was like, Covino, they called you a barbaric old school meathead, I
Now
think.
you're just making stuff up. That's just stuff you think about me.
Oh.
Thanks.
You're just sharing his opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said you were
That was
self-centered.
Rich's way of
No,
telling me how he really
No, I
feels.
believe it said you were a self-centered Guido.
I mean, I
wait,
am
or is that-
self-centered. I'm not going to lie. My parents raised me that
Paraphrasing
way.
here.
I blame my parents for that. I'm trying to be better. But what I did say was, of course he should be there. They told me, or the article said that I said that he shouldn't have been there for the birth of his child. I never said that. I've never felt that way. To me, that's a given. That's obvious. You're having a baby. I think you should be there, okay? Or do your best to be there.
Of course.
What I said was, as a fan, I want you back as soon as you can. I'm happy you had a baby and all. Be there for the birth, but please come back as fast as you could
Yeah, I
because I'm a
remember.
fan. I want to see you play, dude. Hey, congrats. You know, you're there. The baby's good. Come back and play.
You said once the placenta's buried in the backyard, get your ass back to work.
I said something like that, but I never said that he shouldn't be there for the birth of his
No,
kid.
I know, but
I don't. As a fan, I'm thinking, and I'm being honest. As a selfish fan, I'm like, hey, dude, hey, come back. Yeah, congrats. Come back and play. And the story is this: Luka is out against the Raptors tonight, and Celtics tomorrow. And again, congratulations. Draymond is in for the 76ers. And honestly, I'm really surprised by this. And he was very
And
open and candid about his feelings.
he talked about how he's there for his team, but he does think it sucks.
Draymond, your family is about to grow. What is it like going on the road knowing something like really big and important is on the horizon?
Sucks. Pretty if I'm honest. But nonetheless, this is my job. I love to do my job, but it's terrible, if I'm honest. It's not the first time I've been in this position, though. But my wife does a great job. She's strong. You know, I'll do all I can and get back here if I need to.
Now, it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. But remember, with the Jeff McNeil, hold on, with the Jeff McNeil story, what did I say? Of course he should be there. I'm shocked that Draymond Green is missing the birth of his child for a weak-ass Thursday night early season 76ers game.
Well, we don't know the exact birth date and all that yet, but
It is his fifth kid, too.
Well, I know that factors in
It
because
shouldn't-
everyone has asked.
I'll be honest,
but I don't think it shouldn't.
It
I don't think
shouldn't play a
should.
factor, but it does because
this
I
is
know.
Luka's second and Draymond's fifth.
You know, every time this story's come up, is it his first kid? And I'm with Rich.
Exactly,
It shouldn't matter.
yeah.
It shouldn't
But it-
matter.
but
It's the
it-
birth
but
of
it-
his
Hey,
child.
fifth. Done the been there.
Yeah,
done
let's be honest. Our parents all have favorites.
That is true, and I am proud to say that's me. So, your thoughts on the work-life balance?
Well,
I think it's obvious,
yeah.
Rich, that you got to be there for the birth of your kid. Like, do everything you can. People work, people travel. You make exceptions, you leave. It's just the game at that point.
see now.
But my problem, and I just again want to be consistent.
Yeah.
My problem is the amount of time afterward.
Like-
That's always
See,
my
like
issue.
I got like Esteban who just hit us up. He goes, people are soft AF these days. But a guy like Wes said, well, it depends. He's saying if it's like a corporate job, take full advantage of every day they give you. But this guy's making millions playing basketball. I personally don't think that matters, and I'll tell you why. Just because you're making 20, 30, 40 million, $50 million a year playing basketball versus a guy making, 50 or 100 grand working for a corporation, that doesn't change how you feel about your wife or your children or your mom or your sibling or the set. I don't think how you handle your personal business should be dictated by how much money you make. I don't think it's like, but you see how much he's making.
Though. Yeah, because it's always going to come back to that. Like, you're making so much money. I understand the thought process.
But that's jealous thinking.
It is.
It's like, all right, so I have a question.
But it's probably why he's there.
if
because
someone,
of the pressure of they're paying me this much money, I got to be here. And
but I
there's
think
a
with
lot
that,
of
I
pressure
think
there.
with that money though comes a freedom of like, I'm gonna be able to prioritize. I am shocked that Draymond is. When guys in the NBA now miss a game or so because their tootsie hurts, my oblique's a little sore. Like they're missing a game or so.
You mean like phantom injuries like Giannis? I'm just kidding. I believe it.
But if you feel as though guys on your team are taking rest days and load management days. How could you ever be upset if an NBA player is like, yeah, I'm going to go be there for the birth of my kid? You'd be double talking Dickie.
Well, I think the question lies within this. I think we all agree you got to be there.
Yeah.
Draymond, he's in a tough spot.
What's your balance, though? I think the question is
what's
what's
the
your
balance? And what do you think about like the modern day thinking of the man taking his paternity leave? What's your thoughts on that? Like I said, I'm coming from a selfish sports fan perspective. I'm like, yeah, man, get out there. Come on, you're making lots of money. Let's go.
Yeah, but what's more important?
Well, 877-99 on Fox. I told you how I feel about it.
You know, one more layer and then we'll hit. Well, let's kick it to Dan Byer and then more thoughts on this. DB, what up?
What up, DB?
Guys, there is some NBA news. Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo out 2 to 4 weeks because of a calf strain, and you talked about missing games. The Cavs were fined $250,000 for holding out Darius Garland of a nationally televised game, but playing him in the non-nationally televised game as part of the back-to-back.
Dang.
So he played on November 23rd, but did not play on November 24th against Toronto. That was the national TV game.
Ratings, baby, ratings.
So Cavs docked $250,000. They were docked $100,000 earlier this season for manipulating their injury report.
Oh,
So
wow,
yeah,
sketchy.
Yes, absolutely. News from the NFL: Lions and Cowboys tonight from Motown, 8:15 Eastern. Amon-Ra St. Brown questionable. We'll find out in about an hour whether he'll play tonight. The Lions did elevate wide receiver Malik Cunningham from their practice squad. Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter's going to miss Week 14 in their Monday night game against the Chargers. He had procedure done on both of his shoulders. The goal, according to ESPN, is that Carter is healthy for the postseason. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, a full participant in practice. He could start on Sunday against the Vikings, who will have J.J. McCarthy under center. He has cleared concussion protocol. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer asked today about the job at Penn State and his interest in it.
We are extremely happy at Alabama. It's the first time I've been asked, so I appreciate you, Charlie. And we are extremely happy here. Love the challenge, love the grind, love this place.
Good job, Charlie, and said that there's no link to Penn State. Sesame Street helped raise all of us. Now it's our turn. Donate this holiday season at sesame.org because the world needs Sesame and Sesame needs you. Scotty Scheffler share the lead at the Hero World Challenge after first round play in the Bahamas at 6 under par. Guys, back to you.
Yo, DB, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
And let me pose one question, and we'll take some feedback based on the work-life balance now.
Mm-hmm.
Where is your line? World Series, Super Bowl, playoff game? Like, there's got to be a line where you're like, all right, maybe you don't miss that.
Yeah, higher stakes matter
Right?
to me. Yeah, you got to factor that in.
Like Scott Mayer on the in-show chat right now said, hey, there's Zoom now, isn't it? Can he Zoom to see the birth of his kid? But you're not going to Zoom the birth of your kid.
It's an option. It's there. I would say in extreme emergency cases, but no, you got to be there, man. You got to be there for that.
Your thoughts, what are the exceptions? And congrats again to Luca's family, Draymond's family.
Of course.
We'll go old school, take all your feedback. More fun coming up next right here on Covino and Rich.
Nothing's guaranteed in life. And that's what I've learned through years of ups and downs. Now, Rich and I have been very fortunate to work together for over 20 years, but there's never been a guarantee. We used to get nice long contracts, and that was like year to year, and you're always on like the edge of your seat wondering if you're going to get signed again. It's not a fun life to live. COVID changed everything. People lost jobs. People go through jobs now way more than they did in our parents come up and our grandparents come up. Rich, we talk about it all the time. Your grandfather probably worked for the same company his entire life.
He worked for Con Edison in Queens, New York for, 40, 50 years and got a watch and retired. Like, that was the old guy routine. That was the blueprint. Now people are job hopping. It's a different world. But Covino and I have a theory we want to get into, and it has to do with the Nico Harrison firing. Yesterday, of course, Brian Dable. I feel like to be a man or a woman, to be truly humbled, to have character, you need to have been fired and dumped in your life.
Dumped, especially. Yeah, dumped, I think, changes a person. Fired does too, though, because it just shows you what you're really made of. It's not a fun experience. We've all been there. I like to say let go, or it didn't work out, or they gave us an offer we couldn't accept. But truth is, you get an offer that you can't accept because they're putting you in a place where you're forced to move on or forced to quit. So essentially, you kind of got fired. And it's happened to the best of us, but you got to rise like the phoenix. That's really what you have to do. It's your back's against the wall, especially if you have a family. You're like, all right, I got to get it together. I got to develop a new skill. I got to figure it out. And that's when you feel the most alive. And again, that's when it really shows what you are as a man or a woman and what you're made of. And it's happened from the smallest of levels. Rich, weren't you fired at Wendy's?
I was fired at Wendy's. I was fired at a radio station.
Right.
We've all been fired, and we've all been dumped. And I really do think it's a true test of how you rebound. It humbles you when you think you're invincible. Like, yo, she'll never dump me.
Dude.
I saw Covino at his most miserable moments when he thought some of these girls would never leave him, and then he's crying in his beer.
I think that's just as important as getting fired. Look, no one likes these things, but it's a part of life that shapes you and gives you character, like Rich said. And, Rich, that's a great example of my first learning experience that life's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky Balboa said.
Your life ain't all sunshine and
I
rainbows.
was definitely that guy who walked with the strut, thought his S didn't stink, was the coolest dude in the room. She'd never break up with me. She's lucky to have me. I'm God's gift to women. I'm the greatest guy because my mom told me so. And sure enough, man, I was dumped on my ass time and time again by women who thought otherwise.
Well,
and you know what, though? It motivated me. It lit a fire. It let me know that I wasn't all that in the bag of chips, as your dad probably used to say. And I remember this clear as day, Rich. My Uncle Joe said to me, you know what? He's like, I actually like you better, man, as a result, because you've been humbled. You become a real person. You're no longer a cocky wooden boy anymore. You're not a Pinocchio. You're a real man because you know what it's like to experience heartbreak and loss and defeat and being fired. It humbles you and it puts you on your ass into a real place that some people need to be.
And before he got fired, we used to call him Covnocchio. No, but I remember we are on Fox Sports Radio. Is it true that the first two main girlfriends you've had in your life back in your day?
Yes. Are you going to tie this into sports?
Dumped you for a New Jersey Net.
Yes.
At the time.
Yep.
And then the next girlfriend dumped you for a New York Ranger.
Absolutely, yes. That's a true story. I'm not proud of it, but it goes to show you I was a dude living in my parents' basement, or as I used to tell girls, I have these old roommates that live with me. Don't mind those old people. They're my roommates.
They live upstairs. They rent from me.
They rent from me. I was living at home. I was driving radio station vehicles. I was on my grind, on my come up. I sold these beautiful women on my goals and dreams, and they left me for dudes with money. They left me for dudes that were doing big things in professional sports. That humbles you. So back-to-back days, we're talking about people getting fired.
The best of the best in sports have been let go out of contracts.
Yep.
Coaches have been fired. Players that are Hall of Famers have been, we're going to release you. We're not going to pick up the option on your deal. Like, this happens to everyone, and I really do think it's a test to see what you're.
What do you think was a better gimmick? The wet bandits or sticky bandits?
I feel like it's a trick question. I feel like I'm going to say one, you're going to say I'm wrong.
Oh, it's I mean, it's subjective.
I like the Wet Bandits. Oh, the Sticky Bandits were the best. It was a setup.
Spot,
By the way,
do you know what movie goes with sticky and what goes with wet?
Yeah, Wet was the first one.
Yeah.
Sticky was the second.
Yeah, Home
Guess
Alone.
what, Rich?
Most watched movie every year. They did the research, and of all the streaming services and everything, Home Alone, the most watched Christmas movie every year.
Nice. All right, so we're
Kenosha
Covino
Kickers.
and Rich on Fox Sports Radio, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio, Week 14 Thursday, Company Holiday Party Thursday, and it's time for our Tire Rack Play of the Day. De'Aaron Fox had the Spurs cooking in Orlando.
Looking for Fox. He's got him. Down to 6, down to 5. Fox picked up by Wagner. Fox crossing up. Fox at the free throw line. Shot is blocked, but a foul on Jonathan Isaac as the horn sounds.
San Antonio beating the Magic 114-112. That's courtesy of 1200 News Radio, WOIA Spurs Radio Network, and that's our Tire Rack Play of the Day. By the way, I was in San Antonio last month. The sporting goods stores, you can imagine a bunch of Wemby stuff, but they got Fox stuff too, man. Rising star.
For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Shipped fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. Tire Rack, TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Now, looking at the clock, and that means every Thursday it's old school when 50 hits.
There's a certain.
Yeah!
What we gonna do right here is go back. Back into time.
Throwing it back for a Thursday. Old school when 50 hits. At 50 after, CNR give you the time capsule topic, and we reminisce together.
Yeah! All right, we get you involved. 877-99 on Fox, and of course, streaming live on YouTube, Covino and Rich FSR. The live chat's going, and follow and chime in now because Danny G's going to pick some names on YouTube and give away some prizes. But we'll get your feedback now at Covino and Rich FSR as well. I got to give credit where it's due, Rich. Danny G comes up with great ideas all the time. That's what a producer does. Keeps us on track, keeps us in line, comes up with great ideas, and of course, great insight. Danny G's the best. See, here in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, producer's a title that gets thrown around a lot. You're like, what does a producer even do? Danny G does a lot.
Most do nothing.
Most do nothing. Most just say that to impress women. Danny G actually produces.
How many guys have told a woman they're a producer, and that means nothing?
A lot, yes.
Yeah, I'm a producer.
Danny G produces the show. He's our executive producer. You're like, oh, guys, old school 50 hits. Today is Jay-Z's 56th birthday. Now, Danny G came up in the hip-hop ranks of radio. Had history with Jay-Z. He probably sent him a text message. Yo, Jay-Z, is Danny G. But here's something that I know, and I know Danny G knows this. Jay-Z started off as a sidekick. I remember like yesterday on a Throwback Thursday, I went to Sam Goody because Goody had it. Goody got it to buy a maxi single of a song called Hawaiian Sophie, right?
Yeah.
Hawaiian Sophie was played a lot on the video jukebox where you'd order videos. It was a video I saw in the box all the time.
How old are you?
I guess I'm getting old.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
But I look young as hell, bro.
Yeah, Hawaiian Sophie was 1989.
All right, so 89, and it was a song by Jazz. And I remember buying the Jazz single and flipping it over and thinking nothing of it. I was like, oh, there's Jazz and his sidekick. Years later, I find that maxi single in a shoebox, and I flip it over. I'm like, oh, man, that was Jay-Z? Jay-Z was Jazz's sidekick.
Yeah.
And, dude, years later, we interviewed Jay-Z, and I actually told Jay-Z, yo, man, I used to love Jazz. He's like, for real? He thought I was messing with him.
But,
I was like,
but I think when Covino dropped that little fun fact on Jay-Z, Jay-Z was like, all right, you know your stuff, sort of.
Yeah, but he's like, nobody likes Jazz. He's like, how do you even know me from Jazz? I'm like, because I put those pieces together. He was Jazz's sidekick, but he became the main star, right? He left Jazz in the dust. It appeared to me that he was grateful that Jazz gave him his break in hip-hop.
Yeah, he went on to feature Jazz on a couple of his songs.
But Jay-Z obviously became one of the GOATs. So it got us thinking, what are sidekicks in sports and music and TV that became the big stars of their own?
Oh, I got so many
Like
favorites.
sidekicks that became the main character, right? The big star.
Movies, TV, sports, music. The categories are endless, so if you want to chime in, let's go. Best answers may get a little something, may get a little prize. 877-99 on Fox in honor of Jay-Z. Best sidekicks next on FSR.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. I take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all's show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct. 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
Starting out in college football, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer put to rest any rumors that he would leave Tuscaloosa for Happy Valley.
We are extremely happy at Alabama. Love the challenge, love the grind, love this place. And there's never been any link. There's never been any conversation. There's never been any interest either way. And so I'm glad we can put that to bed right now.
Alabama getting ready for the SEC title game against Georgia coming up on Saturday. James Madison's going to hire former Florida head coach Billy Napier to be their head football coach, while UAB is promoting Alex Mortensen to be their full-time head coach. Cowboys and Lions tonight. Week 14 begins at 8:15 Eastern. Amon-Ra St. Brown still questionable with that ankle injury. Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter, that is going to miss Monday's game against the Chargers after a procedure done on both of his shoulders. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, a full participant in practice today. I'm Dan Byer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. VIP in full effect.
Glory to your mother.
Jingling and jangling. Excited for the company Christmas party and even more excited for this game tonight, man.
Where are those bells? Oh, okay.
I'm wearing my Christmas chonies. All I got to do is wiggle a little bit. Hey, I'm Covino. That is Rich. Danny G's here. Sam, Byer, spots on the videos. Covino and Rich FSR. Again, start streaming now because Danny G's going to start picking names and giving away prizes for the holidays. Great stocking stuffers and more. Covino and Rich, we be rocking out into your Thursday night, week 14. Broadcasting live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Every Olympic dream starts with a first glide. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build confidence, strength, and joy on the ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com. Yes, USA and USA. Orale. Thank you guys for being here. So,
let's see. You talk about ice skating. Any sidekicks in ice skating? Who's Chad Michael's partner?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Was it Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, that dude. So, best sidekicks in honor of Jay-Z, who turns 56 today.
Now, you don't think of him as a sidekick. That's the point.
Yes,
he was, though. He was a sidekick and became the main attraction, became the bigger star. You know, everybody starts somewhere. I get it. I mean, I started off as someone's sidekick.
Yeah, when we first started, you were my Guillermo.
No. You know what? I was a producer and sidekick on the air in New York City, K-Rock, New York, on a show called Solid State with Liquid Todd. So it was Liquid Todd and El Covino, and I was his sidekick, right? The point
For
is,
those that are not bilingual, that's the Covino.
The Covino. You know, it was a mixed show on a rock station Saturday nights and things like that. But Jay-Z got his start as the sidekick to a rapper named Jazz, and he became the greatest of all time, arguably. I mean, you could say that's LL Cool J. He coined the term GOAT. But Jay-Z is one of the best in the game, no doubt. So the conversation today, old school when 50 hits, throwing it back on a Thursday, is name some of those sidekicks that became the big star.
You know what is interesting? We have so much great feedback. Phones are all lit, so I don't want to take anyone's answer. But you know what's another category besides athletes, music, movies, TV shows? Do you guys ever look – this is a weird way to look at it, but do you ever look at offensive and defensive coordinators like sidekicks to the head coach? And some become a head coach, and you're like, they're meant to do it. But then there's others like Jim Schwartz, Robert Saleh, Wade Phillips back in the day, where you're like, no, you're better as like the sidekick almost. Like you're better as
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels is an offensive coordinator, not a head coach. Like there are some guys that I hate to call a successful coordinator in professional sports a sidekick, but it's almost sort of what they are, right?
I totally see what you're saying. Absolutely, right? Yeah. I think there's like. I could think off the top of the dome, like Harry Mack. Off the top of the dome, two primo examples. And I'll use that to kick it off, okay? Because I think they're so obvious, like iconic examples of what we're talking about. And Danny G, when he was producing, he threw the same exact examples out there. Number one has to be Our good pal, Henry Winkler the Fonz. He was just the sidekick. He wasn't meant to be the main guy.
Hey.
He was the mechanic on Happy Days. He was there for like comic relief, for the A and O, and he became the dude. He became the main attraction, the big star. He's Henry Winkler the Fonz. Fonz is iconic, but he wasn't meant to be iconic. He was meant to be just a sidekick, ancillary character, no bigger than Potsy and Ralph Malph. He was the guy. He became legend. And it's a very similar story, so I might as well say it. It's the same exact story with Steve Urkel.
Did I do that?
He was supposed to be just the goofy neighbor, and he stole the show.
Got any cheese?
A scene stealer, right? He became the guy.
Yeah, well, now listen, you could give us examples. Danny G was all about sidekicks that became their own number one guy. But if you just have some funny sidekicks, you could throw those in there as well. But let's go to the phones. I don't want to take answers. I'm looking at the feedback on the in-show.
I had to throw those two out there because those are two primo TV examples just to kick it off, just to get it going.
Oh, here's one. If you're a wrestling fan, Joey Elbow says Virgil was a great sidekick, the late great Virgil for the $1 Million Man.
He was a great sidekick, but he was never the main attraction.
They tried to make him go. He went solo for a minute, but then it was like, what's Virgil without the $1 Million Man, right?
I always looked at him as the $1 Million Man's sidekick. So he was a great sidekick, but he never blew up to be the guy.
Like Nature Boy 32 hit us up on the intro. He goes, would you guys consider, because a lot of times I consider the calling commentator the sidekick to the play-by-play guy. Would you say that John Madden was Pat Summerall's sidekick?
Again, I can see the thought process there. I think that's fun for speculation and fun conversation. Yeah, I could see that. Because you do assume or associate the color guy as the sidekick to the main broadcaster.
Except John Madden had been the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, so he was the headliner there. Yeah,
exactly.
He had star power.
He was the star.
He had star power.
All right, let's go to the phones, and then I have some really good ones as well. So let's say hi to our guy, most generous friend we have at FSR, Trip in Vegas. What's up, Trip?
Hey, Trip, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. I got a couple. That would be Jimmy McElroy, was Chad Michael's partner.
It's great.
The offensive coordinator one, in my time, I would say Norv Turner.
Yeah,
he was never great as a head coach, but he was phenomenal as a coordinator.
Great example.
And then I got two sports ones. I would say these may not be what y'all were talking about, but I would say Lou Gehrig, because Babe Ruth was the man, and then Lou Gehrig became his own star. And then the second one, people forget, Barry Sanders backed up Thurman Thomas at Oklahoma State.
That's a wild thought. What a running back room.
Yeah, crazy.
That was. You see that in college football sometimes. Like, what was the quarterback room for that?
Those are cool answers because, again, you're playing in the shadows a little bit of a bigger star. So not necessarily a sidekick, but it still applies. Those are great examples. Thank you, Trip.
Jay in Minnesota. Jay, you're on with CNR. What's up, bud?
Hey, man, thanks for taking the call.
No problem.
I got one that's for TV. Back in the day, there was a superhero show called The Green Hornet, and his driver was his sidekick, and the guy who was his driver was Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Super cool example, man. I love that example.
Who was the sidekick on Ace and Gary, your favorite cartoon?
I always thought Gary was the sidekick.
Okay. Dave in Reno. What's up, Dave?
That's a great example. Thank you.
Hey, guys. Yeah. Remember when Jimmy Kimmel used to be the sidekick for Win Ben Stein's money, and then he got his own talk show late night?
That's a good one, man.
Yep, that's a great one.
That's a real good one.
It's really interesting. We brought up Guillermo. Kimmel was on the brain, but yeah, he was Ben Stein's rando guy.
I actually kind of forgot until you said it.
He was kind of the MC of Win Ben Stein's in the money. He was the host, basically.
I thought he was going to say The Man Show or something like,
but then Jimmy Kimmel was the sports guy on Kevin and Bean, right?
Yeah.
Which was a big radio show out here in L.A. Can I give you one that Jeff hit us up with? Jeff, our buddy, who is in where's Jeff living these days? Our buddy Jeff Edstrom. Where's he living? Alabama, Nashville? Where's he at these days?
He's just living, bro.
I'm such a bad friend.
Yeah. Choosy moms choose Jeff.
He's a beautiful kid, beautiful wife, but I forget where he lives. Anyway, Jeff goes.
I thought he lived on a boat somewhere.
No, he used to live on a cruise ship. He did. Our buddy Jeff said, one you guys will never think of, so he's going to throw it out there. Saul Goodman.
I love that answer.
He goes, it was a side character on Breaking Bad.
That's a great
And he goes,
answer.
everyone loves to say Breaking Bad, best show ever. And he goes, Better Call Saul was a fantastic spinoff.
Dude, props to Bob Odenkirk, too, who listens to our show.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
that's a great, great answer because he
Bob
really
Odenkirk
did.
listens?
Yeah. He became a big star of his own, had his own spinoff, and people, if you downplay Better Call Saul, you missed out because that show was great. It dipped for a minute, came back so strong. I love that. That's a great answer.
Can I give you one that's getting their own spinoff? After all these years, you go to Universal, you see it everywhere, one of the best kids' movies. You just saw the documentary about Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Shrek coming out, but there's also a spinoff called Donkey. There's a Donkey is getting his
Donkey's
own movie.
the star,
He's
huh?
getting his own movie.
Didn't Puss in Boots have a movie?
Yeah, Puss in Boots did have a movie.
And let me throw one more at you in the music world because this is one I don't think anyone will mention. But we all know Kid Rock, famous dude. Uncle Kracker, who had like a handful of radio hits. Uncle Kracker was Kid Rock's DJ on tour.
You know what's interesting about that, too? He wasn't even the second most famous guy in that group because I would say Joe C. Remember little Joe C?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Had more game than Coleco? That little dude?
Yeah.
He was the second guy in Kid Rock's band, and you're right, Uncle Kracker became the guy after that, so props to him. That's a good one.
One that I've been watching on Netflix lately, I started from season 1, episode 1, because I've never seen the older episodes. Seinfeld, George Costanza.
What? I mean, what a great character.
That show would not be the same without that sidekick to Seinfeld.
Costanza was like the comic relief. And then Kramer, too. That show was just unbelievable.
And it applies because obviously each character of that show became their own star, because the show got so big. So based on Jay-Z's birthday, he started as a sidekick to another rapper named Jazz, but became the biggest star. Who are some other guys that started as a sidekick and became a huge star just like that?
Dwight in Kentucky. What's up, D. White?
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
What's up, man? Good to hear from you.
Hey, y'all taking all the good ones, man. I had to do my list over real quick. Okay, I got a good one for you, though. Y'all remember Cheers, right?
Of course.
What about Frasier? Frasier took off and got bigger than ever. Actually.
What about Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Dwight, let me hit you with a show from that same generation. I was just thinking, like, you were talking about Urkel and the Fonz and side characters that were sort of the star. Would you say that Rerun on What's Happening?
Like, I don't know. But he wasn't really a big star.
But I'm saying, like, I feel like he
I'm
was
a big fan.
He was the fun of the show.
I love his dance moves.
Rich, would you say Carlton was the sidekick to Fresh Prince on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
And he was.
You know what's interesting about Alfonso Ribeiro, who we're pals with, kind of, sort of. We like him.
The means you took a picture with him one time?
He was like the biggest star of the 80s.
But there was a time where we were bumping into him everywhere, Danny G, to the point where he couldn't avoid being our pal.
But, dude, he was in commercials and dancing around with Michael Jackson in the 80s. He was on Silver Spoons. He was doing, like, dance videos. He was everywhere. He was the tap dance kid. That dude was, like, all things famous for a child actor in the 80s. And then became the sidekick to like Will Smith. He was already way famous.
We were at a party once, and I just remember, and it's not a name drop, it's Alfonso Ribeiro. But I remember that we were at a party once where I think Alfonso Ribeiro just sat down and talked to our video guy Spot for an hour just because he didn't really know anyone else at the party and didn't want to be bothered. So I think he was just like, I'll talk to Spot.
Spot and Alfonso Ribeiro, best friends.
Yeah, people don't know that.
So, again, the sidekick that became the big star.
All right, Allison in the Cuse. What's up, Syracuse?
Hey, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. You're
Allison,
my favorite show.
Allison, you're our favorite listener in Syracuse. Go get some dinosaur barbecue. I went there. I'm a Syracuse guy.
I knew you were a Syracuse guy. I listened to your show. You're missing a lot of snow right now, so you probably don't want to be here tonight. But
no, I do not.
I do love you guys. You make my commute home. I'm in a good mood when I get home from work because of you.
Nice.
Talk about you like you're my best friends. So I have one. It's sticking with the TV theme, and I think I'm in your general age range. So you might remember, although you may not have watched, Jennifer Garner started out as Felicity's sidekick. Felicity was Kerry Russell. And I love Kerry Russell. She was in that American show.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Garner's everywhere. She's in, superhero movies. She's married to Ben Affleck. She's on every other commercial. What's in your wallet?
True. What's in your wallet? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. You know what? I was thinking of another person in our age group as well. When we were kids, you watch Doogie Howser? Covino used to love Vinny Del Pino.
Hey, dude.
The neighbor. But when I think of Neil Patrick Harris, much like Urkel and the Fonz, How I Met Your Mother is a story of Ted explaining how he met the mom. Barney Stinson became the star of that show?
I think it's a great answer,
Neil
bro.
Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shows
Like,
of
it
all
wasn't
time.
meant to be Neil Patrick Harris, like the main guy.
I mean, Ted's like one of those like hateable, lovable main characters. You know, Jason Segel, Allison Hannigan. They had a great cast. Love the show. But let's be honest. Any clip or any memory you have of that show is like Barney Stinson was the funny of that show.
No doubt. I think that's a great example. I think that's right up there with, that's a modern day Urkel Fonz example,
Yeah.
I think. Again, side character becoming the big star. I'm going to stretch this out. This is based on Jay-Z.
But
But would you say Tupac could be in this conversation? Because he was in
Yeah.
Digital Underground
He was a backup dancer.
as a backup dancer.
Roadie.
Nothing but trouble.
And then became an iconic rapper and
Yep.
face of hip-hop. So he was just a backup dude to the Humpty Dance.
Do you guys, I mean, I'm going back to Neil Patrick Harris for a second. Do you guys know the story of how he sort of landed that role? Because we forget, he was a child star, Doogie Howser, MD. And then, you know, he came out openly gay man, right? So we're talking about openly gay guy who was a child star. How does he become like the womanizer on CBS's biggest sitcom? They saw that he could play that sort of role just by his cameo in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Remember he had that sweet cameo where it's like, yo, that's Neil Patrick Harris
Yeah.
playing like a vulgar maniac?
Yep.
So that little cameo.
'Cause it shed a different light on him.
It's like,
yeah.
wow, Neil Patrick Harris could play that type of role, and man.
Hey, dude, if you say I'm stretching and this doesn't count, then by all means, let me know. Okay. But one of my favorite shows growing up was Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's why I feel like this is Stevie's Playhouse. But Pee-wee was the star.
Is that why when Dan Byer does an update, you say, Micka Licka Hi, Micka Heiny Ho?
Hey, Dan Byer. So, if you remember,
Hello,
though,
Stevie.
there was a guy named Cowboy Curtis that would come in and he'd hang out with Pee-wee Herman.
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis turned out to be a big-time movie star by the name of Lawrence Fishburne. So I don't know if that applies. And a lot of people don't even realize that's Lawrence Fishburne. It's common knowledge to some, but to other people are like, wait a second.
Wait, I know it because you're a big Pee-wee fan, but they talk about that in the Pee-wee documentary, and it's fantastic. What's up, DB?
I was going to just add another one to this. You guys are talking about Jay-Z. Obviously, you guys were mentioning Tupac. I think as of late, Toto. Remember, these are just session guys in, making music for everything else. And now all of a sudden, like, let's just have our own band, and Toto
Ta-da.
becomes huge. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dude, if I'm not mistaken, Toto did the Thriller album. Like, they were the musicians on that album for a lot of the songs.
Yes. And Human Nature, was written by one of the guys in Toto.
Oh, you know who else?
His demo.
Based on that? The Eagles. They were Linda Ronstadt's like backup band, and then boom, they become the Eagles.
You know, a guy in the 80s music scene we couldn't turn the radio on without hearing? Phil Collins. He definitely, he was the drummer.
So you're saying,
he was,
Genesis, but he was, not as a good
he
one.
was the drummer,
became
and
the
then he
solo
was,
act.
yeah.
So again, sidekick, not the main dude. Then the main dude is basically the conversation here.
Trying to, you know me, I was never sold on this. I was trying to think if there was a wrestling example of like someone that was like became the star.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain too. I'm like Scottie Pippen, but he was never really the main guy after that. He's always
the Bulls wanted him to be the main guy after that.
I kind of made a mention earlier today about Mike Holmgren and being the assistant to Bill Walsh. We look back at there was an NFL Films deal where they talked about all of the head coaches that worked under Mike Holmgren that were former assistants that became head coaches. But I think that Holmgren was like the first one, the hot assistant where that branched from Bill Walsh.
Of course. I remember because I remember him as a Niners fan. I remember and then being like, wow, he's on his own now and he's a star coach.
Would Belichick under Parcells apply here?
Yes.
Kind of?
Yes.
Right? Would you
At
say?
100%.
At one point, he was the sidekick, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Based on what you were saying before?
Not only at one point, a couple of times, because there were a couple of tenures. It was first with the Giants, and then even with the Jets, he went and worked for Parcells.
And, I think we're
And New England.
seeing a guy like Ben Johnson become the star. If the Bears keep winning, you're not going to look at Ben Johnson as like, that clever play calling coordinator for the Lions. You're going to be like, do you mean the head coach that is giving the Bears glory for the first time in like decades? So
It is pretty interesting, though, because Jay-Z really was, again, like the hype man, the sidekick to another rapper.
I have a question. Flavor Flav?
He's always a sidekick. He's like the consummate sidekick.
Yeah.
He's like Scottie Pippen. He's
But he's
just
sort of
always
like,
the second
but everyone
guy.
knows him.
He's super famous, but that's his role.
Yeah.
But he did. But you know what, Rich? You're right. He became a TV star, right?
No, it's a good answer.
He did
Yeah.
become his own star. So, yeah, I would say that is. But he's like the consummate sidekick or hype man. I don't know. That's a good one.
Let's go to Jim in Vegas. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys. Thank you guys for taking my call.
No problem, man. What's up?
Becoming big fans of you guys. I mean,
thanks.
You guys sat in for Dan Patrick one morning, and now you guys got me listening to you every afternoon while I
Hey,
Uber
man.
Eats.
That means it's working.
That's the goal. When we fill in for Dan Patrick and that alarm goes off at 4 a.m., what you just said is the reason we do it.
Yeah, thank you so
thank
much.
You
Appreciate
guys are-
that.
okay, now you guys ready for the best one you guys are going to get? You guys are ready?
Let's go.
This guy's going to end up probably being the best actor in history, one of the best actors ever in history. He started off on a TV show called Bosom Buddies.
No.
Peter Scolari was the star of that show, and Tom Hanks overtook everything and became what he is today.
You know what I thought you were going to say? And by the way, I like that example better. I think you were going to say Leonardo DiCaprio was just like the rando kid on Growing Pains. I thought that's what you're going to say because that's along the same lines. Like, you're right, Tom Hanks was not the...
But Tom Hanks more of a sidekick on that show.
Yeah, but Tom Hanks was
So
not...
that was great.
He was not billed as like the main guy of Bosom Buddies, if I remember correctly.
He became a superstar.
Rich, in our pre-show meeting, you had a great answer because Scott Baio, of course, was the star. And who did we tune in, though? At least me, when I tuned into the show.
Buddy Lembeck.
Yeah.
I just wish there was a Buddy Lembeck show on his own.
Hey, Charles!
But what
I was hyped up.
Charles in charge.
Buddy Lembeck was so horned up. He would always be like, Charles, there's some hot girls down at Sid's Pizza. Like, there was always like, he would always try. He was the Larry Dallas, essentially. He was Jack Tripper had Larry. There was always hot girls at the Regal Beagle.
But I think those dudes are just sidekicks, no?
Yeah, you're
Like
right. They
Buddy
are,
and
but
Larry,
they're great
like
sidekicks.
Boner from Growing Pains. Those are just sidekicks. The story here is those guys becoming superstars. So 877-99 on Fox, and yes, I said Boner.
When you said Boner from Growing Pains, I thought that's when you were looking at the picture of Joanna Kearns.
Oh, no, that's a different one. To your room.
Hey-o.
All right.
All right, where do you want to go? Bob
Rich
in
will
Rochester?
be here till Thursday.
Bob in Rochester, what's up? Maybe I'll do stand-up at our holiday party tonight.
No, please don't.
Hey, Bob.
Hey guys, just driving through Buffalo through the snow.
Yeah, tell Josh Allen we said hi. What's up?
Hey, whatever happened to Ryan Seacrest's co-host in American Idol?
You know,
Dunkelman is Rich Davis.
That's
He
me.
changed his name.
He
changed his name to Rich Davis.
Yo, Bob, what's interesting about that is that Dunkelman missed out on Ryan Seacrest
But he
went on.
left apparently for the sweetest reasons,
Yeah,
but
he
it was
was-
just a bad career move.
Yeah, like Dunkelman was like, I don't like how they're mocking these kids.
He thought they were exploiting the kids and being mean at their expense. And you know what? Looking back, they were. Simon Cowell was like crushing these kids' goals and dreams before our eyes, and we were loving it. And we were exploiting like people with accents and making fun of young men from foreign countries. So Dunkelman was sort of ahead of that trend of compassion and doing the right thing. It worked to his disadvantage.
Didn't William Hung sing She Bangs at your wedding?
It's a true story.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah.
All right, let's go to DJ X-Rat.
But you know what? Hold on.
X-Carrot?
Hold
What
on.
was-
You could say that
X-Rat.
Ryan Seacrest was the sidekick. They were. You could say he was kind of the sidekick, and he became a mogul.
How about Randy Jackson,
My dog, yeah.
the playing for Journey? You know, hitting that bass, and then American Idol, kind of to Simon Cowell's.
Agreed. Yeah, no, honestly, Randy was a standalone name that everyone knew, but before that, you're right, he was just a
bass
musician in a band.
Yeah,
Which is
pretty
no shame
wild.
in that, but you're right, he's just a musician in a band.
I think it goes to show you too. That's the best that they can get. They didn't have high budget for that show, and that's no knock on him. But no one really knew him that well as a solo act, and Paula Abdul hadn't done much at that time.
No.
So let's go to Vermont real quick.
Yo, DJ X-Rat, what's up?
Yeah, I'm an old hip-hop DJ. I got to get in a couple real quick.
Yeah.
One of them is hiding in plain sight in the Doug Gottlieb intro, and that is a Dougie Fresh snippet. And his sidekick, will you guys say it before I do?
Slick Rick?
Slick Rick.
I was more of a Dana Dane kind of guy, but yeah, Slick Rick DeRula became a huge star. And, you know, that English accent, the eye patch, the chains, the jewelry, the gold tooth, he became iconic. So that's a really great answer, man. Who else you got?
Let's say
Or a
John.
quick one.
Oh, I think he's got one more.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls had one too, and she was voluptuous, and she was Lil' Kim.
That's a great one. Yeah. You made me think of another one in the world of hip-hop, and this is a true story. I always love this story, and I've said it a million times. Busta Rhymes was just one of the leaders of the new school. He was just one of the ancillary guys. Charlie Brown was the main dude, right? Who's that? Brown. So leaders of new school, they come out and do Scenario on Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall welcomes A Tribe Called Quest, Scenario. Leaders of the new school collaborate on that song. Yeah. Busta Rhymes does his whole little gimmick, and everyone's like, who's that guy? He was just like one of the dudes in the band, becomes a huge star after that on his own.
All right. Oh, man, we're running late.
Bigger than his sister, Leanne Rhymes.
You know what? John, Gerald, Lauren, we'll get back to everyone, and we'll take your feedback next. We got more Covino and Rich. Just getting a little wrapped up with all this fun throwback stuff. Covino and Rich right here, Fox Sports Radio. Now, quick timeout. Holiday upgrade check. You still watching games on your weak-ass old TV? If so, you should be ashamed of yourself, number one. And number two,
hate your weak-ass TV. I got to squint just to see.
We got the solution. TCL, buddy boy. TCL's QM8K QD Mini LED. The real MVP. Ultimate brightness, ultimate black levels for the ultimate experience.
They should call that TV the real MVP.
Yeah, they should. And it's not just football, Covino. Movies look great. Games feel smoother. Everyone's going to be impressed.
Here's the play. Holiday savings off select TCL TVs. Go premium with the QM8K Brilliant Picture Huge Sound, the ultimate choice, or grab the versatile QM6K for an elevated game day experience.
Don't overthink it. Lock in the ultimate experiences with epic savings and undeniable bragging rights all season long. Get it while supplies last.
TCL is the official TV partner of the NFL. Find TCL at all major retailers. TCL, bigger, brighter, better holidays, select models, limited time. See all major retailers for details. TCL.com.
Bam.
She bangs. Oh, baby.
Tom Brady was robbed. Here's a guy who really can't complain that much, but no one wants to be robbed. And the story goes like this. Some dude walks into the Lower Manhattan store, and he pulls like $10,000 worth of cards, and he brings them to the register, and his cards declined. And the kid's like, sorry, sir. I'm improvising here now. Sorry, sir, your card's declined. And he's like, nah, it's not. And the kid is like and he does some sort of like magic trick because he tricks the kid into believing like, nah, it's all good. Walks out with $10,000 worth of merchandise and memorabilia. And it got us thinking of cards that we thought would be worth something, but they're not.
Almost like what were you robbed into thinking? Like
right.
I think back to baseball cards. I'll say this. These were the cards that I tried to mass collect because I'm like, one day, this is going to pay off.
And for the record, like Rich said, we're still big fans. Look at this one. I just got this one this week. Aaron Judge, rookie.
Yeah.
Call the judge and get some fudge.
I get it.
Donnie baseball, bro. Look at this one. Got the uniform in there. Look at that. I got your Shohei rookie in a bet.
It's cards are on a big comeback the last like 5 years. But
for sure.
When we were kids, let's shout out some cards that we thought were going to be valuable. And we were, as Fonzie would say, wrong.
And we got to state the obvious. It's because a lot of these were mass produced or that player really didn't amount to what we thought.
It's one of those. It's either they never amounted to shit or they made a million copies of them.
Right.
And you could still go to some hobby shops and buy packs of 80s cards for like $5. So it's
hobby
like,
shops. I'm going to the card vault.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm a big Tom Brady guy.
Can we start with former New York Met, Greg Jeffries? Because I'm not the only one that thought he was a future star.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. This was a hot card. We thought he was the next Lenny Dykstra, next Nails, even better. We saw the videos of him swinging the bat underwater. Like he had cool workout techniques. I even had the scorecards, like a buttload of Greg Jeffries cards.
But that was the one.
That
That was the Topps future star. And I remember being like, "Yo, I'm gonna mass collect these."
I remember investing a lot into Greg Jeffries and Tom Gordon too. Flash Gordon.
Oh, well, there was a Yankee. Remember Brian Taylor?
Yeah.
That was one that I remember investing in. How about this one? A card that we all sought out. And I remember thinking like, yo, this is like when he was on Team USA. This is wild. It was in the traded set.
Yeah.
The Mark McGwire Team USA. Now, there are some like PSA rated 10s that are worth a good amount of money. But if you just have the rando one without the little emblem, like if you got just a regular traded set, like $15.
$15 on eBay, but this was one of the holy grails of our childhood because that was considered his rookie. His USA card, Mark McGwire, the Bash brother, no way.
Before he was an A.
Yeah, before he was an A, that was the card to get. You thought by now it'd be worth millions. $15.
Shout out to one of my childhood friends, Phil, who sold all
Phil Mabosak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Phil convinced all our friends that we needed to really make sure we acquired as many upper deck Todd Van Poppels as possible.
Should have said acquire the McGuire, but you said Van Poppel.
The Van Poppel.
Van Poppel.
I mean, another Oakland Athletic at the time. Todd Van Poppel. He had he was a big leaguer, but there was a point where we thought Todd Van Poppel was the shit.
He had no popple. It didn't pan out the way we thought. And I think the name really stuck with us as kids, and we believed in it. Get this card that we thought would be worth something, $10. $10. And again, $10 is $10.
Yeah, but Covino, it says top prospect. I'm sold.
Top prospect, upper deck, and upper deck was hot back then.
And by the way, that was my primo collecting days. 91 upper deck. That was like the primo time for me, at least.
Oh yeah,
late 80s, early 90s. But yeah, Todd Van Poppel. Let me throw another name at you. A guy that clearly did work out, but again, mass production. It wasn't a picture of him. It was the painting on those Don Russ Diamond Kings.
It was the Diamond Kings, yeah.
Oh my God, Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, you got to get that one.
Oh, it's a drawing
You
of
go
him.
to the card show and you're like, you got the Ken Griffey Diamond Kings? And you probably overpaid for it. Hey, yeah, kid, give me $60 for that.
Again, there's special edition ones that are worth a lot, but that one, again, is like $5.
$5. $5.
Come on.
Not worth really what you thought it would be. And I think the holy grail of what every kid of the 80s, 90s had to get their hands on was another A, because the A's were hot. Athletics were big back then. 89 champions. The Jose Canseco rated rookie. I still got it in that hard plastic with the screws on it and everything. And, of course, he's a 500 home run club power hitter, but he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
His career's a little tainted. And it's not worth what we thought.
And to be honest, like all your old cards, the chance of you having a Don Russ 86 PSA 10 is like unlikely. So like a regular one's like $12. $12. So.
$12. I think, I'm not even kidding you because I could picture mine. I think I paid $80 for it. I paid $80 for it in like 89 or something.
The opposite of inflation.
Yeah, so that was the 86 Jose Canseco, Don Russ rated rookie. And that's cards that we thought would be worth a lot more, would be worth something by now. If you want to add to that, again, at Covino and Rich, at Fox Sports Radio. My partner, Jay-Z. This is Jazz Hawaiian Sophie. So if you're a 90s hip-hop guy, this is like a B-level single, but the video was fun, and they played the video a lot. Hawaiian Sophie on Jay-Z's 56th birthday. Now, he's got hits for days, but this is where it started. And again, everybody starts from somewhere. So when we say sidekick or ancillary guy or whatever, that's not a diss. Everybody starts from somewhere. But it's cool to see when that second guy becomes the big superstar because no one really expects that, right? You always expect that main guy to continue being the bigger star, but sometimes there's some hidden talent back there.
When I was like 20,
I
worked at my first like real radio station, and I was on the morning show. But I was not the host of the morning show that you might imagine, since we're Covino and Rich now.
Yeah, but you were a young guy.
I was the sidekick that would do the stupid like bits on the street, and I was Rich the Bull.
Richie the Bull, man. The legendary Richie the Bull.
I was Rich the Bull.
Like Ferdinand.
And you know why I was Rich the Bull? Because I had such a New York accent. They said I sounded like a little mobster. I was like, yeah, see, New York.
You know what, though?
Yeah.
Rich really did, though.
I had the worst New York accent.
When I met him, he was like, hi there. He sounded like Edith Bunker. That's how Rich talked back then.
True story.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, Fee.
Yeah. All right, rapid fire, then DB's update. We'll talk a little more NFL as we get ready for an amazing game tonight. Lions, Cowboys, oh my. Lauren in Fresno. Yo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, bro?
I got an old one for you. This is even before my time. But the old TV show, The Green Hornet, his sidekick was Kato, played by Bruce Lee.
You know what? You're the second guy that said that, but it's a great answer. It really is. Bruce Lee became an icon. So I'm glad. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, so I'm glad you said it. Thank you, buddy.
All right, let's say hi to Gerald in Virginia. What's up, Gerald?
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, guys. Glad to talk to you again. Although I lost my Phil Collins answer earlier, I'll go to wrestling with Diesel. Kevin Nash was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard.
Yeah, that's a good one. Rob Baker hit us up in San Antonio. He said Arn Anderson was always like that sidekick to Ric Flair, but then he was sort of his own man for a while.
Definitely was his own guy.
And Sean hit us up in Los Angeles, and he gave us a wrestling one. The Rock, before he was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he was like just a random guy in the Nation of Domination. I don't remember that much, but so, yeah, everyone starts somewhere, man. John in Ventura, what's up, man?
Yeah, I got three. So first one is a small show called Cheers. You got Frasier coming out of that.
Yeah.
Second one would be you got the parents were supposed to be the stars, but then a show called Family Ties, Michael J. Fox.
Oh, dude, how
And
did we
the third
forget
one-
that? That's such a great
Third
answer.
one, yeah. Third one is another backup dancer, one of the original Fly Girls on A Living Color, J-Lo.
Yeah, but I give all credit to Selena, bro. All credit to
Or
Selena.
as Jamie Foxx used to say, back then she was just hey-ho.
Oh, you said it.
That's the Jamie Foxx bit,
Hey,
right?
dude, all great answers, but that Alex P. Keaton, Michael J. Fox answer, and back then, to be a TV star turned movie star was few and far between. That's a great
Yeah.
example.
You know,
he was just the son of the show.
Not only did you have 5 kids in your class named Mike, if you were a kid of the 80s, there was 5 kids in your class named Mike.
Dare we say Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Michael J. Fox?
We lived in a
Dare
world
we?
of we lived in a world of Michaels. Michael Knight?
Michael J. Fox was, man, he's the guy.
All right, let's say hi to Brad in North Carolina. We'll take a couple quickies, then we'll go to DB. What's up, Brad?
Hey, guys. He stole my Fly Girl, but I had a second one, and that is Opie, that went on to be one of the best directors ever in Ron Howard.
That's a
a good
funny one, man. Yeah, he was just a
bit character.
kind of a sidekick to Andy Griffin, Griffith.
Griffin.
But yeah, man, and look, he became one of the biggest names in Hollywood.
San Antonio. What's up, San Antone? What's up, Jason?
What's going on there?
How are you, man?
How about? Now I got a couple of mine taken. But what about like Kevin Hart? When he started off with Soul Plane and like those scary movies.
Yeah, how about he was in 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah,
dude.
he was the guy in
Romney
40
Malco was the main part of that scene in that set where he showed up, and it's like, that's Kevin Hart. You know, I can't say he was the sidekick, but he wasn't the main guy.
Yo, Jason, you ever go to Chacho's in San Antonio? One of my favorite Mexican spots back in the day.
It fell off though, man. It got pretty ghetto.
You got a little ghetto. Yeah, my wife said the same thing. When I first started dating my wife, she's from New Braunfels. Every time she picked me up at the airport, their quesadillas are like the size of Danny G's head. Like they had the most monster, like Mondo quesadillas. Now Danny G's gonna think he has a big head.
No, this guy's saying I got a big head.
7 3/4.
All right, you know what?
JJ in Illinois, wrap it up and then we'll go to DB.
Yeah, let's
That's
do
it.
some quick rapid fire.
We're good. What's
Crossfire.
up? JJ, last one. What's up, bud?
Yeah, hey, I wanted to highlight a sidekick who fumbled their chance at the spotlight.
Ooh.
How about the guy who was supposed to be John Wilkes Booth's sidekick the night he killed Abraham Lincoln? He was supposed to kill the vice president, but instead he went to the saloon and got too drunk and forgot to do it.
By the way, that's like the most bizarre yet awesome answer. I think we end with that. That is true. I'm a history, besides Super Bowl history, presidential history is one of my favorite things, believe it or not. No joke.
Well, off the air, I was saying, Rich, how about George Bush? He was sidekick to Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he was an 8-year vice president.
A lot of
Biden
IPs became their own guy.
VPs that ended up becoming Ps. John Wilkes Booth. That is a true story.
Wait. So both the president and vice president were supposed to be assassinated that night?
There was a plan that night of like, a night of destruction, essentially. And the guy who was assigned to, like, all right, you're going to take out the VP.
Where was the VP at the time?
Got a little too much sauce. Sipping back
the
on.
VP was not at.
No, he was not at the theater.
At the theater. Okay.
No.
I'll have to brush up on this.
He couldn't get good enough seats. No. Let's go to Dan Byer for an update. What's up, DB?
I was going to say John Wilkes Booth sidekick, too. It's right there for me. Guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown may play tonight.
Wow.
We're going to find out in a few minutes.
That ankle looked like it got twisted the wrong
he's
way.
a ball. You've seen him and his wild family. They are competitors, to say the least. So doesn't shock me. I'm surprised.
We've been inundated now with shots of Amon-Ra working out on the field. Inactives are due within the next 5 minutes, so we'll find out if he's active or inactive. But right now, Amon-Ra St. Brown at least doing on-field work prior to Cowboys and Lions tonight. The Lions did elevate wide receiver Malik Cunningham from their practice squad earlier today, which you could have taken as a sign that maybe Amon-Ra wasn't going to play, but it's also insurance if that's the case.
Doesn't that also strike you? No, he's a star player, but doesn't it also add to the urgency of this game for the Lions that Amon-Ra is going to even try to go? Like, this is a must win.
Yeah, and you're going to have to score points. You guys talked about it off the top of how much like how Dallas is playing, and you're going to have to score tonight. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN just tweeted that Amon-Ra gave him the thumbs up that he is indeed playing
Gave
tonight.
him the Fonz.
Gave him the A.
Oh, you sure he wasn't just talking about our conversation?
Hey,
Oh, the Fonz.
hey, DP, who do you got in this game?
Gosh, I like Dallas plus the points. I'll just say that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I'm
Protect
super
myself.
pumped, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a fun one tonight. Week 14 ends with the Chargers and Eagles. Eagles will be without Jalen Carter. He underwent a procedure on his shoulders, according to ESPN, and is now considered week to week. Lamar Jackson didn't practice today for the Ravens. They've got the Steelers coming up on Sunday. Jaden Daniels fully practiced for the Commanders. They have the Vikings coming up, and J.J. McCarthy of Minnesota cleared concussion protocol. Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't spotted at practice. He's nursing a heel injury. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks will be sidelined 2 to 4 weeks because of a calf strain, while the Cavs were fined $250,000 for holding out Darius Garland of a national TV game last week. Sesame Street helped raise all of us. Now it's our turn. Donate this holiday season at sesame.org because the world needs Sesame and Sesame needs you. And Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer put to rest that he would consider taking the job at Penn State.
There's never been any link. There's never been any conversation. There's never been any interest either way. And so I'm glad we can put that to bed right now.
Alabama getting ready for the SEC title game Saturday. James Madison hiring Billy Napier, the former Florida head coach, is their new head coach. Guys, back to you.
Hey, thank you, DB.
2 questions. Does it not feel like a lifetime ago you said Jalen Carter going through a procedure? Remember it was like week 1 with the spit gate? Remember he did the spitting? Does that feel like a lifetime ago?
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the season. And, we don't talk a bunch of college football here. We're more NFL fans, but if you're not excited about Indiana, Ohio State this weekend, my goodness, that's like you can be the most casual, but when you got 2 12-0 teams going at it like that, that's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm pumped. So hey, we got more Covino and Rich. We'll talk some NFL, do a little preview of tonight's game. Let's do it. More Covino and Rich next as we're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. And just a reminder, for over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection, with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation.
Just because you said options doesn't mean I forgot you said jive instead of drive.
You jive talker.
Yeah. So thanks again to TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
They help you wherever you're jiving.
Every Olympic dream starts with a first glide. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build confidence, strength, and joy on the ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com. There's a lot of controversy about Christy Martin and Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney getting a lot of backlash about her portrayal of Christy Martin, and she's the reason why it flopped. The movie's flopping. It's terrible in the box office.
Let's flop it more.
Oh, geez, here it comes.
No, I won't even go there. I'm too classy for that. But you know what? I got to say this.
All right, Freddie Blassie.
You know what the problem is?
All right, James Lennon Jr.
You know what the problem is? It's you. It's me. It's you. It's everyone. Everyone has whack-ass expectations. What did you think? Did you think this was going to make hundreds of millions of dollars in the box office? No one gives a shit because it's in the theater. But it did get us thinking about biopics we've watched over the years where some people really immerse themselves in the character and others miss the mark.
Okay, so we got 3 good ones, 3 bad ones. Of course, you could add to our list at Covino and Rich.
You decide.
At Fox Sports Radio, hashtag overpromised. You make the call. 3 good ones that we agree on.
By the way, the proof is you're not going to see it, but I guarantee the minute it's on HBO, Prime, Netflix, you're going to be the first one to watch it. You just don't want to get off your ass.
There's a lot of sour grapes, a lot of jealousy, a lot of people just hating on Sydney Sweeney. That's why Christy Martin herself came out today saying, hey, everybody back off. I fight for women. I'm going to stand up for her. She did a great job.
You talking about weenies that were mad at her jeans ad?
There's a lot of people who are just jealous of who she is, have a problem with that ad. You had Ruby Rose, other actors saying that, she was a cretin and she ruined the movie. There's a lot of people just hating on her because she's hot.
To quote James Franco, don't be so peanut butter and jelly.
All right,
Come on.
Some of the good ones, Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody, undeniably great.
I think you and I came up with a top 3 that is undeniable. He was Freddie Mercury. I think he was Freddie Mercury. This is a great one to put on the top 3. Can I give you another one?
Yeah.
A guy that I think he, by the end of the movie, thought he was Abe Lincoln. Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln. Unbelievable. Not the Vampire Hunter one. Like, this is like the actual biopic.
I was going to say, I'm a huge fan of the Vampire Slayer, but you're right. This one was good, too.
Wait, he didn't hunt vampires?
No, he did not slay them, hunt them, or anything. But when he was Abe Lincoln, I was like, yo, this is so convincing. I feel like I'm in 1865.
Margot Robbie as Tanya Harding, I thought was a great movie. I wasn't expecting that. Good movie, really good.
I thought she was fantastic. And
you know who else was in that before they were super famous? Paul Walter Hauser. He was one of the goons.
Oh, Stingray?
Yes, Stingray was
from Cobra Kai.
Wasn't he Galooly?
He was one of those dudes in the movie, yeah, but we didn't really know him that well back then. But really good movie. Good movie.
And you know what? Margot Robbie played down the looks just enough because I was like, you don't want to watch this movie thinking like, man, I want to get with Tanya Harding. She played it perfectly, gave that little redneck vibe. I really think Margot Robbie, not only beautiful, but fantastic. I thought Tanya definitely got my attention.
I gotta say, we're not forgetting the Doors movie. We're not forgetting some of the other greats, right? So you could add to the list.
We're allowed to have our favorites. Those are our favorites.
Those are the ones we agreed on.
Want to go over the shit list?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yo, I'm such a hypocrite here because how could you say you hate something if you've never seen it? I couldn't be convinced by the trailer. I never saw Ali because I'm like, Will Smith, I'm not convinced. I couldn't even.
My man.
Bro, I couldn't even put myself in the mindset.
And when Rich and I agree, it's fact. I'm not a big Will Smith fan anyway, but I am a big Ali fan, and I could never accept him as Muhammad Ali. So it may be the greatest movie ever, but I'm like, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I'm like, I am not supporting this.
I do like Will. I know you don't. I like Will, but when he's Ali, all I see is Will Smith trying to be Ali. Like,
Plus,
I don't.
Can anyone really capture the dynamic personality and greatness of Muhammad Ali? That's really it. It's like, even as great as Will Smith is or could be, it's still not Ali to me.
You know what?
So.
I think number 2 on the bunk list, she could capture the hotness, but apparently everything was wrong about the beautiful Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe.
She's so hot. She's so talented. But you're right. I watched the movie and it didn't suck, but I could never get past the accent.
It was like,
how are you Marilyn Monroe with an accent? This, along with Ali, Rich and I haven't seen it, but based on the reviews, based on the reaction, the only one that seemed to be impressed with the smashing machine was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I saw him get a standing ovation. He was crying. What a fun-ass conversation, man. Happy birthday to Jay-Z, by the way. Covino and Rich, Fox Sports Radio. because I got so many thoughts. I'm like, Larry Holmes was Muhammad Ali's sparring partner before becoming champion and beating Ken Norton. You know, like he was his sparring partner and then eventually beat an old Muhammad Ali. Thanks again for all your feedback at Covino and Rich at Fox Sports Radio. We're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. No more waiting. Your goals start now. Cyber Monday. Deals are still going. Cyber Thursday. Take your workouts around the world with Nordic Track and iFit. Save big on treadmills, bikes, and rowers at NordicTrack.com. Nordic Track. Train anywhere, explore everywhere. So I'm Covino, that is Rich, and Danny G. We told people early on to hop on our live chat, our live feed, our live stream. Watch what you hear at Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. It's where our bonus pod airs right after this. Overpromised. We said we'd pick a winner, right? We need people to follow for free, and people are chatting. Who you got, man?
Samuel L. Johnson. Can I get a drum roll?
Oh.
Go ahead. Just slap your chest.
And this is for a CNR on FSR Nerf Turbo Football.
Yes,
Great
sir.
stocking stuffer. We got plenty of them. So who's the winner today?
I like the answer from Scott for mayor. He said Mr. T from the A-Team.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
okay.
a really good one. Scott, we're going to mail out a Turbo Football to you when the shipment comes in. Hit me up at crprizes@gmail.com. That's crprizes@gmail.com.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for playing along.
And, you know, thank you. Every day, the YouTube chat and the YouTube page is growing. So, again, if you want to do us a holiday favor, I feel like I'm Tiny Tim. Can you do me a favor? I'm like Cratchit. I'm not asking for one more coal in the fire. I'm asking for just a simple follow on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@Covino and Rich FSR. And I saw a funny thing, speaking of Scrooge. I saw a video on social media. It's like, Scrooge, we all had the wrong idea. He did nothing wrong but expect everyone to be as fiscally responsible as he is. He didn't deny Cratchit the coal in the fire.
Yeah.
He was in that cold room, too. He just was a stickler.
Yeah, pay up.
When he went around town, he just thought all these poor people made bad decisions.
Are you a Scrooge because you want your money? So
He wasn't, you know.
Think
maybe-
about it. Hey, and by the way, we talked so much about sidekicks, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. We appreciate all the feedback. I can tell you what we're going to talk about on Overpromise.
What you got?
We got ChatGPT's 50 greatest moments in sports.
Can AI have a gauge on what we've seen with our own eyes? So we're going to go over the top sports moments according to AI.
And since it's the company holiday party Thursday, what are the company party rules? Like holiday party rules?
The do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. We break it down, plus Rich's picks and who might be asked, all on a brand new Overpromised episode 120 on Fox Sports Radio's YouTube page and our YouTube page, Covino and Rich FSR. Check it right after this show.
And, you know, you mock that John Wilkes Booth answer, his pal who was supposed to kill the VP but got drunk.
I didn't mock it.
No, but you said, really? Well, our buddy Sean hit us up and he goes, the guy is right about John Wilkes Booth. The guy who's supposed to kill the VP but got drunk instead, his last name was Mud, which is why the old expression is like, his name is Mud. Because
Is that what Primus's My Name is Mud song is about?
100%.
No way.
You said.
Really?
Yep. See, look at that.
I'm
Learn
not
something
buying
new. By the way, tonight, I'm all Cowboys plus 3.5. I don't know about you. Lions, you're grasping. I wish you luck. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm a fan, so maybe he does something. But to me, all about the boys tonight. We'll see.
And tomorrow we play Brainwave, give away more prizes. But enjoy Overpromise. Enjoy the game tonight.
Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the Overpromise land.
Goodbye.
Later.